Good afternoon and welcome to the planning briefing for Thursday, April 11th. Getting into those key points, it's going to stay warm and relatively dry through Sunday. And the relative part is scattered showers or maybe even an isolated thunderstorm or two is going to happen tomorrow. All right. Breezy conditions will begin on Monday as a trough starts to affect our area. Now, if that trough is sufficiently south and west, we could have a change to much cooler with potentially snow down to the valleys on Tuesday and Wednesday. Either way, whether it is a cooler scenario or a much cooler scenario, we are going to see a cool down. Looking at the weather threat matrix, Friday, tomorrow, chance of thunderstorms in north central Idaho, west central Montana, and Bitterroot Valley, and there's going to be some wind in southwest Montana. And then on Saturday, that slight chance of thunderstorms shifts into southwest Montana with some wind. And then as that next trough starts to encroach, and you'll see it on satellite in a second, as it starts to encroach in our area, winds will start to pick up again in northwest Montana. And do not be surprised if by the end of the weekend we have some wind in here for west central. But right now we have more confidence for northwest Montana. And then Monday, wind everywhere with some high elevation snow. And then you can see we've ticked off northwest Montana and southwest Montana for moderate impacts on Tuesday. I'm going to show you a graphic as to why. All right, so here is that current satellite. Sorry about that glitch on how the data comes in. But here's the trough that's building. It will eventually dig into or just off the coast of California or Oregon, somewhere in that general area. This right here, this feature is a cold front, and that will push eastward. Now, initially, what's going to end up happening is going to have southwest flow. That's going to bring in that warmer air for this weekend, but it's going to be a little bit moister. So if you're in the burning community, don't expect RHs or relative humidities to drop just because of the warmer temperatures, because we are going to be bringing in slightly moister air. I just wanted to show you the regional temperature trend. You can see temperatures continue up through Sunday. This is not for any one location. This is basically an average of everywhere. But basically, warmer temperatures through Sunday, and then that sharp drop off into the middle of the week. Looking at the probability of wind gusts for Monday, so winds will increase slowly throughout the weekend, and then by Monday, as that trough is really starting to push against the high pressure and push it out, we have some pretty high probabilities of 40 mile an hour or stronger wind gusts in the mountains, but then you can even see it down into the valleys. Although if I was a betting man right now, I would say 30 to 35 is probably going to be the highest gust in the valleys, and we'll see those 40 to potentially 45 mile an hour wind gusts along the ridges. So what is the big change? All right, there's a lot of model uncertainty. Right now, it's about a 50-50 split between a cooler solution and a much cooler solution. This is a pretty nifty graphic that we look at from time to time. And basically, it takes all the 100 model runs between the European community, the global forecast system, which is the US, and the Canadian, and it puts them into like groups, and that's how we get our percentages. So you can see the much cooler is about 33 and 21. So that's why we're saying 50-50. It's not exactly 50-50. It's about 54, 46. And then these solutions here, where the trough is much broader and it's not sharp and digging into Idaho, these are going to be not as cool solutions. So we'll see cooler temperatures with precipitation in about half the models. And then in these ones where the trough really digs to our west and pulls the cold air across the continental divide, that is our much cooler solution. So this is our actual forecast. We didn't have enough data that had come into the system yet this morning to run probabilities. I apologize for that. So this is our actual forecast. You can see some pretty hefty totals, and I'm going to focus in on the glacier region in a minute or less than. But you can see some hefty totals in the mountains up here, and then in southwest Montana and along the Continental Divide. And then there's a chance for a slushy accumulation in the valleys. That would only happen if the much cooler, or 50% of the model's solution, actually happens. Let's focus in on the Glacier National Park, and I think this is the location. The confidence is much higher that the cold air can get here, and we'll have that wraparound precipitation from the east. So you're looking at a foot to 2 feet of snow in the higher elevations of the glacier area. And the reason I'm focusing on this is we are already into the tourist season, and you know, local Montanans are bringing their bikes up there and going for bike rides. So from McDonald Lake, about 4 to 6 inches. This is not a high end. This is our actual current forecast, and 1 to 2 feet as you get into the higher ups. Now, at the gate, West Glacier, it's about 1 inch, and that's generally what you're seeing in the valleys. So I would say overnight, a slushy accumulation up to 1/2 or 1 inch if the much cooler solution plays out. If not, it'll probably just be rain down here with some wet snow mixing in. But also the Mission Mountains are going to see some higher amounts, and the Swans. Now, to get further west, that much cooler solution has to happen. All right, so there is some uncertainty into that forecast, but these potential impacts are for the much cooler solution. Temperatures dropping 20 or more degrees from Sunday into Tuesday. Okay, Sunday will be the warmest day of the forecast period, and then it will get much cooler by Tuesday. An impactful winter weather along the Continental Divide at Marias, McDonald, and Homestake Passes, and especially Glacier National Park. Okay, it could be impacted by winter weather at all elevations in Glacier. And then accumulating snow is possible in all valleys. The one place I'll say it's not going to happen is when you get real down low in Hells Canyon, Idaho. All right, so looking at the long term, it's showing that cold air east of the divide, and then basically near normal for us, and then warmer than normal as a ridge builds behind this trough, and then below normal precipitation. But remember that day 8 and 9, there could be some decent precipitation, but this is just averaging in the next 4 to 5 days as well. So it's going to dry out after this system. All right, thank you for attending. Our next briefing will be Sunday, April 14th. And as always, this is going to be a complex changing forecast. If you have any questions, please give us a call at 406-329-4841. Thank you.